when a 4-year-old called 911 and said, "My mom sleeps all day." Officers thought it might be a simple case of exhaustion. But when they arrived at her home, what they uncovered left them completely stunned. What was really going on behind those closed doors? And how did a little girl's bravery uncover something that shocked even seasoned professionals? Stay tuned to find out and let us know where you're listening from. Don't forget to subscribe. Emma Turner, a bright-eyed 4-year-old with curly brown hair, stretched her tiny limbs and yawned. She glanced over at her mother, Lily Turner, who was usually the first to wake up each day. But today, Lily was still sound asleep, her chest rising and falling rhythmically. "Mommy?" Emma whispered, gently shaking her mother's shoulder. She tried again, a little louder this time, but Lily remained unresponsive. Concern creased Emma's forehead. It was unlike her mother to oversleep. Every morning, Lily woke Emma with a kiss and a cheerful "good morning." Emma sat up and glanced at the clock. It was 8 a.m., 3 hours later than usual. She swung her legs off the bed and padded quietly to the kitchen, hoping to hear the familiar sounds of breakfast being prepared. The kitchen was silent, no sizzling on the stove, no clinking of dishes, just the eerie quiet of an empty apartment. Emma's stomach rumbled with hunger, but her concern for her mother overshadowed everything else. She tried to make breakfast herself, clumsy with the utensils and unsure of where to start. After several failed attempts, Emma sat at the kitchen table, feeling overwhelmed and scared. She glanced around the apartment, noticing that nothing seemed out of place. Everything was as it should be, except for her mother. Emma remembered the emergency drill Lily had insisted they practice every week. "Remember, Emma, if something's wrong, call. It's important." Taking a deep breath, Emma decided to follow her mother's advice. She waddled over to the phone on the wall, her small fingers fumbling with the buttons. Her heart pounded in her chest as she dialed the familiar numbers. "What's your emergency?" The operator's voice was calm and professional. Emma's eyes welled up with tears. "My mommy has been asleep all day," she managed to say, her voice trembling. There was a brief pause, and Emma felt a shiver run down her spine. "Can you tell me your address, sweetheart?" the operator asked gently. Emma recited their address, trying to keep her voice steady. "I'm scared. She won't wake up." The operator reassured her. "Help is on the way. Can you stay on the line with me until they arrive?" Emma nodded, even though the operator couldn't see her. "Okay," she whispered, clutching the phone tightly to her ear. Minutes felt like hours as Emma stayed on the line, watching the minutes tick by on the wall clock. Finally, she heard the distant sound of sirens approaching. She rushed to the living room window and peered outside, spotting the flashing lights of a police car and an ambulance pulling into the parking lot. Officer Martinez and paramedic Lee were the first responders. They swiftly made their way to Emma's apartment, understanding the urgency of the situation. The building manager, Mr. Reynolds, was already at the entrance, helping the officers navigate the security system. Officer Martinez knocked on the door, but it was locked. "We're here to help," he announced. Mr. Reynolds attempted to open the door from his side, but it remained stubbornly shut. Time was of the essence. Emma's mother was still unresponsive inside. Paramedic Lee suggested using a crowbar to pry the door open, but the door wouldn't budge. The officers worked quickly, their training kicking in as they assessed the situation. Meanwhile, Emma stood by the door, feeling a mix of fear and determination. Inside the apartment, Emma heard the commotion outside. She knew she had to help her mother and the responders trying to get in. She attempted to reach for the phone again, but her hands were shaking too much. Desperate, Emma tried to unlock the door herself, using a small step stool to reach the handle. As she pulled, the door swung open slightly, allowing Officer Martinez to slip inside. Once inside, Officer Martinez and paramedic Lee found Lily lying motionless on the bed. Emma was standing nearby, tears streaming down her face. "Is she okay?" Emma asked, her voice breaking. Paramedic Lee quickly assessed Lily. "She needs medical attention immediately," he said, his voice professional but gentle. As they worked to stabilize Lily, Emma noticed a strange smell lingering in the air. It was musty and acrid, something she couldn't quite place but felt uneasy about. Officer Martinez decided to investigate further, suspecting something beyond a simple medical emergency. As the paramedics prepared to transport Lily to Seattle Grace Hospital, Emma's heart raced. She didn't want her mother to go, but she knew it was necessary. The officers and paramedics worked efficiently, ensuring that Lily was safely loaded into the ambulance. "You're very brave, Emma," Officer Martinez said, ruffling her hair. "You did the right thing by calling us." Emma nodded, still feeling a mix of fear and relief. She watched as the ambulance sped away, hoping her mother would be okay. At Seattle Grace Hospital, doctors quickly took Lily into emergency care. While Lily was being treated, Officer Martinez and Mr. Reynolds conducted a thorough investigation of the apartment. It was then that they discovered the source of the problem, a severe mold infestation. Black mold had been growing unnoticed in the apartment for months, seeping into the walls and air vents. The toxic spores had made Lily incredibly drowsy and ill, but Emma, being younger and having less exposure, remained unaffected. "This is serious," Officer Martinez said gravely. "We need to inform all the tenants immediately." Mr. Reynolds contacted all the residents of the high-rise, revealing the mold outbreak. The building management organized a massive cleanup operation, hiring professionals to sanitize every apartment thoroughly. Residents were understandably shaken, but they rallied together to support one another during the remediation process. Meanwhile, Emma and Lily stayed with Emma's grandmother, Margaret, who had arrived at the hospital to offer support. Margaret held Emma close, soothing her with gentle words and reassuring hugs. After several days in the hospital, Lily began to regain her strength. Emma spent her days by her mother's side, sharing stories and comforting her as she recovered. Lily was grateful for Emma's bravery and resilience, knowing that without her, she might not have survived the prolonged exposure to the mold. The doctors were puzzled by why Emma remained unharmed, but they concluded that her younger immune system and lower exposure levels played a role. Lily realized how fortunate they were to have each other. As Lily healed, Emma reflected on the events that had unfolded. The experience had been terrifying, but it had also shown her the importance of courage and quick thinking. Inspired by her own actions and the support she received from the community, Emma decided she wanted to help others in need. Years passed, and Emma grew into a confident and compassionate young woman. Her determination led her to pursue a career in emergency services, motivated by the day she saved her mother. She trained diligently, excelling in her studies and practical training. Emma's dream came true when she became a paramedic, dedicating her life to helping those in crisis. Her first day on the job reminded her of that fateful morning in her Seattle apartment. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she responded to emergencies, knowing that her actions could make a difference just as hers had. One evening, as Emma walked through her old apartment building, now free of mold and bustling with renewed life, she felt a sense of closure. The community had come together to overcome a hidden threat, and Emma had grown from a frightened child into a hero in her own right. Thanks to Emma's bravery, her mother recovered, and a hidden danger was uncovered for the entire community. What would you have done in Emma's place? Could you stay calm and act quickly in such a moment? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.